judge it or question though where that necessarily came from, considering that there are some operators that might have been a little bit more suitable for that ban. For example, Do could be, she could be really good. Who is? Am I good? Oh, okay. Okay, so I guess I'm alone here for a little bit while Velocity figures out everything. But as I was saying, I do question the Thatcher ban a little bit. But as Flores and Kaid follow that ban, I do think that we're probably gonna see a Azami ban here. Probably Azami Solus maybe. Okay, there we go. Fenrir instead. Um,
We're back.
Velocity is back.
We're back. We're back. We're here.
There we
We're having
go.
some issues. Cool. But yes, ban phase ends around up there, and it is Thatcher, Flores, Cade, and Fenrir off the board. Goodbye. Won't get a chance to play it in this match today. And as you already mentioned, Retro, this is in fact Oregon. This is the map where Giants do go to die. This is the map where, well, it's the most default map that we're ever going to see within Siege. So we are just going to have to wait and see what both these teams can produce on their retrospective sides. Versus Valhalla, we'll see what they can get to produce on the defending side, and we'll see what Ewave can do on the attacking side to start off with. We are going to see a basement site off the rip straight away, Retro, and well, that leads me to question, why aren't they going top?
Yeah, I also wonder that. The only thing that I could think of for them going here first is just that they want to, get that one in the bag. It used to be a very, very strong bomb site that you were pretty much 100% going to win. So maybe they want to, now that it's not quite as strong, although still pretty strong, I'm thinking that probably they want to get it in the bag, get it over with. If they win it, then they have one round on the board. If they lose it, well, they're like, okay, well, we tried. We could go upstairs now and get that round win. Yeah. Anyway, that's sort of where I would be coming from that if it were me. Something that I want to point out here is that they brought the Thorn. Of course, she's been quite popular recently since she's gotten the 1.5. But the interesting part about that is that, of course, she is now sort of has to be brought due to the shield and due to the fact that Smoke doesn't have the shield anymore. A lot of the times you'll see, maybe Ella being brought, sometimes the Chanka completely replacing Smoke, as of course he has the shield and can still provide a lot of that area denial that Smoke is so loved for. But I do find it really, really interesting that they brought that Thorn, and I wonder how that's really going to impact these attackers as they start to make their way further down toward the bomb site. It looks like we could be having the first little engagement here from the dorms all the way into the freezer, but Andrelli does miss that opportunity onto, I do believe that was the Remide, and manages to get away safely without really doing anything.
And the Bucky is going to move all the way down into security and is going to be allowed to open up the security hatch nice and quickly. Has Satan already on the box hatch, already upstairs on meeting. They're taking this map control, Retro, nice and quickly. They're setting up the drones already in sight. They're going to be trying to find the locations of the defending side as fast as possible. It's Andy, who does take an incredible amount of damage from the side of Matsu, courtesy of the MP5K, the 1.5 on that as well. And he is going to be forced to move off and play slightly more passes. He does drop down to about 25 HP and he's now had to play his life very, very carefully. Very, very, very slowly as well.
Minute still to go. Still not really dealing with too much map control at the moment, using those breach charges to try and get those hatches open. Of course, should be a little bit easier now due to the fact that Kate is off the board and Lazy Boy is off the board as well. That's the warden now gone. Luckily, they do not have a Ying on board, but they do have 6 of those flashbangs that are starting to rain onto the bomb site itself, and are starting to cause some issues here on the defenders. But that timer dwindling down, trades coming out every which way. Freaky tries some safe, for the most part, inside of that elbow retreat. Shotgun in hand, getting fired through so many different places. Wallbang's coming out as well. He's blind, trying to haul them up as they push in from the doorway. He does just that. Another trade coming out, 2v2, 6 seconds to go. He can see the back, can't quite hit it. Another one goes down. It's all down to Panoza. And
operators, you are out of time.
well, he gets it. There was another player that was down in that moment, so it was effectively a 1 versus 1 with a beautiful swing. He manages to get that kill, finds the kill, and finds the round as well. No, I was wrong. He did not manage to find the kill. It was instead Mercy Valhalla that were able to win that. I got a little confused. I don't know what happened to me, but there we go. First round off the board, and Valhalla take it. I do think that sort of proves my point earlier about how they were trying to go there first, just so that they can get that round, and then they can go wherever they please.
Yeah, Mercy Valhalla played their positions very, very well. So we saw the shot, we saw the smoke. I believe it was Tariki. Is it Tariki? Tariki Triceps. What a name. I believe he was playing nice and closely to the soft wall and managed just to be able to get away, but did not just manage to get away. Managed to get an unfortunate position and find a kill. Managed to get himself into an unfortunate position and get a kill from it, which shows that Mercy Valhalla do have the potential to play these very awkward positions and prevail in them. Obviously, they were already at a bit of a disadvantage because, well, I'm pretty sure they did lose the first gunfight. They were at the man disadvantage, and they brought it back in the dying moments of the round. In the last 40 seconds, they won the gunfight. They played the positions well, and well, at the end of the day, that's all CJs. You play your positions well, and you 9 times out of 10 you will win that round, and they did just that. Up the top floor, though, we go. Kidstorm, Retro, and well, now it is just a case of gunfights. We know this site all too well. It does come down to the 20-second meta. It does come down to who has the better gun skill.
I have to agree with you. It does come down to that, but it also does come down to whether or not they can set themselves up properly, because something that a lot of teams really fall victim to is taking too long trying to set them either an attack push or, you know, Dorm's double window push, or maybe that bedroom breach, and then they're stuck with nothing really. They're stuck with, you know, a little bit of everything, which isn't really enough to do much. And then they end up in a position where they cannot really go for an execute without just having to collapse onto the bomb side and hope for the best. So hopefully Ewave are going to be a little bit better with that time management and are going to be able to set themselves up for a good attack round here. Matsu down below. Oh, go for it.
Matsu playing in kitchen. Oh! I thought Matsu got the kill then, but it's Tariki buys up to claim one, Sampy to follow up with his teammate, claim the second nice and quickly, and it already puts Ewave in the 5 versus 3 Retro, and they have so much more work to do now than ever. They have to get that advantage back for this lazy boy to shut him down and say no, Andy falls. And now it's the 2 versus 5. Ewave has crumbled really as one grenade goes out. Statement takes down Lazy Boy on the main stairs. He's now enabled to be able to push in, stop armory, walks now into Trophy, but leaves Statement in the 1 versus 4 as Matsu to take down Pamba. Sorry, but it's Statement to swing, finds one on the white head hole, and now is able to kill one of the
attackers have located a
isn't
bomb.
aware of the ones playing. Kidstorm isn't aware of the ones playing in Attic as he finds the 3K, looks to find the 4th, but it's shots from games, drained by Matsu, the T5 SMG, and it does claim Mercy Valhalla their 2nd round on the board.
Yeah, whatever that was. C4 taking out one and then immediately taking another kill with that. I think they were able to gain such a huge amount of advantage from that. And again, what I was talking about, how a lot of teams sort of get stuck in without really having too much of anything. I felt like that was Ewave there for a second. Of course, they had still so much time left on the board. There was still like well over 90 seconds for them to get themselves set up, and they had that breach open, so they still had a really good avenue of entrance. But once they lost those 2 players, that really spread them thin, and then they just kept losing those gunfights, which is, as you said, those gunfights would be crucial, and indeed they were. It got Mercy the win, and Ewave are now struggling to find themselves even 1 round on the board. Of course, their best chance at that is going to be this round, where Mercy Valhalla are playing that tertiary bomb site, which is the least likely for them to win. Although Kitchen and Meeting does seem to be still a pretty difficult site to attack into, as Oregon tends to have the reputation of being generally a pretty defender-sided map. So it's still going to take a lot of effort from Ewave to be able to do this. And now, as the attackers get locked in, the absence of Osa on the side of Ewave does concern me a tiny bit. He is sort of almost a necessity when you're attacking Kitchen and Meeting. So for them to just completely forego her does make me a little bit curious. I'm not saying that it's not, that it's completely lost now and that it's not doable without her, but I'm just saying that she's very, very important. She tends to be sort of an insta-pick for a lot of teams, so the fact that they've not gone for her does put a little question mark for me at least.
Yeah, and I do agree with you. Obviously, Osa is such a pinnacle operator to attack this site, as you said. You have to bring her. She has the deployable shields that you can only break via an impact and swinging. She does have then the impact DMPs alongside two very, very good guns. I mean, it is. She's a very good operator, so yeah, I agree with you. There's huge question marks of why you have decided, no, we're not going to bring her, no, we're not going to play her on this, while attacking this Kitchen Meeting site. But Cheriki is playing nice and closely in security with the shotgun out, not in hand. And the side of Ewave are going to have to try and clear him out nice and quickly, or else there are going to be some issues caused. But it is the buck of Andy who is playing upstairs, opened up the big window, and it looks like he is going to try and clear out that row. But little does he know, Matsu's upstairs, but he does know, and as he takes down Matsu, finds the opening kill of the round, and is now enabled to jump into big window, jump into bunks, and potentially look to find one more person. But it's just double swing, and Sacred fires the second. He found one previously, he took down Arrow, but he takes down Lazy Boy as well. But it's Sampy to claim one back, but Sky to claim down Sampy as well, and it's all up to Triceps, all up to Triceps. The lone mute with the SMG-11 in hand, and he is going to have to try and clutch this, but Retro, I think this round is all but over.
I mean, never say never, although I'd have to agree with you. He finds one through the holes that he made with the shotgun himself, finds another one. Oh, no, never mind. He does not find one on that swing. I thought for sure that Iano was gone, but no. It's Statement to win that gunfight, and the round indeed does go towards Ewave Esports. And to answer my own question about why they didn't bring the Osa, it does look like they did not even consider playing her, as of course Osa is a staple, is sort of very necessary if you are attacking Kitchen Meeting from the Meeting side. If you are attacking from either Garage or from the backside, from stage, you have to bring the Osa because of how important she is to get into the bomb site itself, to go for that execute, to go for that objective, to get the plant down. But if you are attacking from the kitchen side, or from dining, and from the white hallway, the way that we saw Ewave do, she's not as necessary. Of course, she's still going to help you because of how just well-rounded of an operator she is, but is not as necessary, and we saw exactly why, because they were able to go in through that double window. They were able to isolate those roamers who were playing upstairs. Beautiful gunmanship all across the board from them to get those kills, and then all they had to do was just drone out the mutant, finally get the kill. Of course, he was able to get a trade or two back, but I mean, that round was, as you said, all but over as soon as he was left in a 1v4. Oh!
Yeah, kill straight away, and he takes down his teammate, and I'm going to take a guess, Retro. That is from some sort of skin, or it could have been an accident, we're never going to know, but Sky, it's been taken down. And Ewave already at the disadvantage in the 4 versus 5, and they have to try and find one kill on the side of Mercy Valhalla, and they have to try and get that advantage back as quickly as they can, or else momentum is going to be gone. Then they have to get momentum back anyway as it stands before it kind of dissipates in the way of Mercy Valhalla completely. Because Mercy Valhalla have the upper hand at the moment. Yes, they have 2-1. They only have one round on the board, but both rounds they've won, they have completely dominated Retro, and well, Ewave have to correct that momentum, correct the mistakes they're making before it is too late, before Mercy Valhalla are able to run away with us.
I have to agree with you there, and it is very, very good for Ewave, the fact that they were able to win that tertiary bomb site attack, but it's going to take a lot more than just finding those things on the tertiary site. You're going to have to bite down and find a round or two on the primary or the secondary as well.
Yeah.
Because you really cannot afford to have much bigger of a gap when it comes to the half. Of course, yeah, you will be on the defense, but you don't want to give them that in. And then the Ellie takes a lot of damage, but he takes a life for his own. Ira goes down. That's the Goyo off the board. Of course, his utility already placed down and will be causing issues later on. Statement swinging in, but it's the Thorn of Santi that finds that kill. Downed in the process, however. And somebody's trying to chase that player. MacGyver, but no, it's Penosa with the firebolt from above from the hatch to do it safely, claim that kill, and bring us to even ground here with a minute left.
Bomb
For
located
still
by
to pull
attackers.
off their attack.
We've seen 4 kills so far, both now back to even, back to neutral. The man advantage can still go either way, and they have to. One of these teams have to try and get it back as quickly as possible. With only 45 seconds left there, Retro. It is looking unlikely, but it's Lazy Boy shuts me up, takes down one of the Ewave players, looking to find the second that isn't Freezer to refrag onto Matsu. But it's Lazy Boy to find 1, 2, and 3 to give Mercy Valhalla their third round of the board.
What a round, what a round. There was a lot of trades. For a moment, it looked like it might be Ewave's round, but Valhalla just so good at this and too confident in their own gunplay. I mean, you could see Lazy Boy there. He was just free-firing everything, swinging everything, completely confident and secure in his ability to pick up those kills, and that's exactly what he did. Set up Valhalla to go for another shot at that secondary bomb site defense, which the last time that we saw this, it was over before it really even began, as Valhalla were able to pick up a couple kills very early on, C4, and then another one to trade it, another one to follow up rather with a gun, and they just held on to that with a very severe man advantage. Ewave really stood no chance, so hopefully this time around they're going to be a little bit more successful with their attack. Of course, I said it before, a lot of teams, when they're attacking this bomb site, tend to get stuck in that sort of mid-ground
10 seconds
of,
remaining.
trying to set themselves up for an attack, so much so that they don't really manage to do anything, and then they're forced to collapse into the bomb site from whichever way they can. Considering the lineup that they're bringing, I think this will be a split attack, which is where teams do tend to get stuck. So hopefully Ewave are going to be able to avoid getting stuck and are going to be able to find this round before where they really force the scrape rounds in their own defending half.
The one thing Ewave I find is struggling with just a little bit, Retro, is they're struggling to clone this roam presence from the side of Mercy Valhalla. Every time they've had at least 2 people roaming, and every time they've struggled to find it. But it's Statement to take down Tricky off the board, that's your mute, and that's no longer a C4 in pocket. The one and only C4 you had left is now gone off the board, not able to be used. They are still struggling though here, Retro, to clear. Matsu, who does still remain, does still reside all the way down in meeting, and is holding up that meeting control nice and tightly, keeping it nice and close to him, and he's not allowing the Ewave players to actually even get into the building, forcing them to rotate off into a bit more uncomfortable, a bit more weirder angles, and they're probably more used to. The Buck of Andio still does remain downstairs, trying to clear out arrows, trying to find him, trying to find that kill. Little does he know, Matsu isn't even gonna give him a looking at, isn't even gonna give him a chance, and he's forced now moves on to the game's rappel.
90 seconds already gone, and just like I said, they really don't have much at this point. They are starting to get that attic wall opened up, but they still have no breach on the side of that main bedroom, and that really could be, the showing signs of a potential failed attack. I really hope that I'm wrong, but that's usually how it begins. 90 seconds in, a minute left to go, you really don't have too much, and then you're forced to collapse. Matsu still down below, still roaming. Most of these defenders have settled into their own positions and aren't really intending on moving. The guy did manage to open up a little bit of this breach, but it's swiftly blocked off by that Kiba barrier, wasting time, precious time, and also they can't really find a kill through that. Lazy Boy finds Andivelli. There goes another block onto that breach, still wasting time. 40 seconds to go, we're on equal ground, but Ewave don't really have an avenue to enter through. One player pushing up those right stairs. Oh,
The
there we
E-Wave,
go.
they're struggling. But it's 2 kills to come out. It's a double kill from Statement, but it's Statement to fall to the hands of Aero. Meanwhile, where's Matsu in all this? Matsu is going to be rotating back up. There's one more to fall. Aero off the board. And now it's all up to the player we were saying before. The player we were saying was roaming, was doing a good job, but it's Matsu to fall. And it's E-Wave to take the round. They collapsed on site. We were saying it's going to happen. It happened, and they succeed.
Yeah, it's a 50-50 split on whether or not that collapse in the dire seconds of the round works or not. Ewave managed to do it. They had the objective in mind. They knew, okay, we need to collapse, we need to get the planter into a safe position, we need to have the cover, and we need to get that bomb down. That's exactly what they did, and it worked perfectly. One other thing that I'd like to point out is that not only did they collapse on site the way that we knew that they would, but it was also the fact that they collapsed onto the site knowing that there was still a player downstairs. They completely ignored him for the vast majority of that round. They tried to get him a little bit in the first minute or so, but then they just completely forgot about him. They ignored him. They were like, okay, let's just do our own thing. He's going to come up eventually. We have the gridlock track stingers covering all the staircases. He cannot really come and surprise us. We'll know that he's coming. We have the drones. We have the track stingers. It's fine. And it worked out perfectly because once they were able to isolate those gunfights in the actual bomb site, get those kills, they knew that they really didn't have anything to worry about. The Legion doesn't have any C4. It's not like it's Stolas that see the planter. They were completely safe, and they managed to completely isolate that player, get the round done, and really, really well executed. And just like I was saying, you have to sometimes back down and get the round wins on the primary or secondary bomb site. That's exactly what they did, forcing Valhalla now to play that bomb site again for the final round of their defensive half. And they could manage to even, dig out an even split, which on Oregon is more than you could ask for, really.
Most definitely. Well, this is the final round of the split. As you mentioned, Retro, we could be seeing the 4-2, but I think it's actually more likely, Retro, we see the 4, no, sorry, not the 5 ones. My lord, it's been a long day. We are most likely going to be seeing the 4-2 in the way of Mercy Valhalla, obviously. I think it's possible that Mercy Valhalla have realised, okay, this is the mistakes from last round, we need to correct them, and I think it is possible they have corrected them already. It's all going to be much harder for Ewave to try and attack this. This is presence from Sampi, their own presence from Sampi and Matsu, now both forced back down into the basement, but it's required 3 of the Ewave players and enormous amounts of utility just to clear out 2 of the Mercy Valhalla players. 2 of those players now still able to roam, still have now gone back downstairs and gotten away with not even a lick of damage and their lives completely intact. Ewave, so much work to do with now only limited utility, now only 1 grenade in hand and 4 flashbangs. It can only do so much until it comes down to pure gun skill. Well, we've seen what happens when it comes down to pure gun skill, Retro, sorry. And it's not looked good on the side of Ewave.
Yeah, it really is not looking good for them. Of course, they were able to push out those defenders, but as you said, they've really not done anything. They're still wasting their time, they're still wasting their drones, they're still wasting their utility, and worse off is the fact that Lazy Boy, the Solus, is still down below. So even if they manage to do the same thing as before, of collapse onto the bomb site, maybe pick up some kills, they still have that Solus to worry about, as she could absolutely kill the planter if they're not careful. So now with the final minute ticking down and them once again not really having an avenue of entrance, looks like the push is going to come from this attic side as Satan is protecting himself on that window to maybe jump in. There goes the jump in. Iro looks away just the wrong moment. Tricky Triceps on the other hand manages to find a kill of his own, trades it out, but Lazy Boy finds Anazu. Here comes the push. Attic side, everybody is there, but there's a player inside of tower that could shoot them through the windows. Tricky Triceps behind these Kiba barriers, still holding tight, getting flashed out. You don't flash him out quite well, but they managed to pick up the kill anyway. A bit careless there, managed to equalize it out finally. Lazy Boy and Matsu once again all alone. Is Andieli, can he find this? No time and no HP as Matsu finds that kill. Valhalla managed to find the lead in the half as they take it 4-2. And now we're going to be seeing them on the flip side, on the attack. And Ewave fell victim to just the way that that Oregon top 4 bomb site plays out. I told you that it's a 50-50 split between that collapse working out and it failing, and we just saw both results
Defenders,
back
protect
to
your
back.
bombs from being defused by attackers.
Almost definitely. I mean, it does just come down to that flashbang there. They tried to flash games. They missed the mute of Tricky. But not only did they miss it, Tricky still found himself taken down because of the swing. I think that kill was kind of the pinnacle of the round. Tricky had to find the kill, but Tricky just couldn't. And not only that, yes, okay, Ewave lost the round, but then it just came down to the gunfight. So it was just poor from Ewave. It was just poor
10 seconds to go.
Yeah, could not have said it better. But you know, that's all in the past, at least for now, for Ewave as they head on
Attackers
to
are
their
moving out to
defensive
locate
half.
a bomb and defuse it.
Defending upstairs for the first time, of course, we spoke about Valhalla choosing to go downstairs first, despite it not being the most ideal site, although for them it most certainly was, as they managed to win it twice without really too much of an issue. But now Ewave are going to be trying to defend it upstairs, and Lazy Boy finds that opener so very early on. I'm not really even sure where Husky died there. Yeah, still really confused, but nevertheless, though, Valhalla find the opener, and not only that, but take down the Lumai with magnets with him, and they're setting themselves up for a pretty good start to the round here.
Yeah, good start indeed for the side of Mercy Valhalla, and even better, just Lazy Boy to claim one more statement off the board, and that's someone you definitely want off the board. You're 11-6 at the moment, leading on the side of Ewave, and that is your crucial kill. That is the one you want off the board nice quickly, and it's allowed Mercy Valhalla to take them out of control. Not only take them out of control, get the main breach open, but not only are we going to see the main breach getting open, we're going to see Matsu finding one kill, and it's now going to allow them as well to take trophy control in its entirety. They are going to have to though. Ewave players though are going to have to try and play the retake, but it's Matsu and Sampi that very, very quickly find both kills in quick succession of each other, and it gives Mercy Valhalla the rounds.
Wow, what a round that was. What an opener to their attacking half. What a beautiful round to extend their lead, and a flawless at that. The first flawless round that we've seen, and it's their first attacking round on the bomb site that you would expect Ewave to have completely on luck. But they got completely decimated there by Valhalla, who knew exactly what they were doing, even more so with that frag grenade. I mean, I'm certain that came from either a person call or a drone call, but nevertheless, with beautiful timing, beautiful precision as well, and to cook it so perfectly. I mean, that was definitely a brilliant final kill there, but just a kill in general. I mean, that's one that I'll definitely be reminiscing onto for a while there. Very unfortunate for Ewave to have lost their opening round there, and of course, as I said before, you really don't want to be digging these rounds out in your defensive half. You want to have a little bit of leeway. Of course, they had quite a bit of leeway there with the fact that it was a 4-2 split, so they still had, 2 rounds of breathing room, but now that breathing room has shrunk to just 1 round. They can not really make any mistakes, because of course, the next mistake they make puts Valhalla onto match point. They really, really don't want that to happen. Doing it again here on the top floor bomb site. Hopefully this time around, it's going to be a little bit more successful.
Yeah, let's hope it is a little bit more successful for the side of Ewave. I think momentum is firmly in the way of Mercy Valhalla, and it's going to be now very, very hard for Ewave to shift that momentum, to shift what they can, get what they can of momentum-wise in their favour. Because, well, Mercy Valhalla are starting to run away with it. They're very much just running away with it. But it's Husky to fall to Matsu. An instant refrag for Satan, though, to respond and say no. But Lazy Boy to respond as well. And his kills all in quick succession. Just for Ewave to come out on the back foot here. They now have to try and get the advantage back. But it's Aero, who's around 25 HP roughly. He's now have to try and play his life very carefully, try and play nice and safely, but it's the Echo on Bolo. The thing is, he does have the shotgun, but it's no match for the DMR of Andy. Doesn't get claimed by the shotgun. He is going to have his life intact and remain on that bolo position. But the man advantage once again restored back to neutral. They do have the games window. No, the game's wall completely open, which is going to restrict the defenders' positions massively in terms of where they can play and where they can, where they swing and where they can't, and where, most importantly, they can get cut off from. And just as we say this, Sampi takes down one, but instantly refragged by Panzer, sorry. By Panzer to put again the man advantage back to even, but it's some shots taken, nothing really come of it, nothing landed. And surely you hear Retro, they are aware of this Echo's position. Surely they have to try and clear him out. Potentially a double swing as both players now move into Trophy. There's one EMP, but it's a swing from the Echo to take down Aero. It's all up to Trophy in the 1 versus 2, but isn't even going to get to find one. As it's Panoza to take him down, and it gives Ewave the round to potentially put the momentum back to neutral, back in the way of Ewave.
Yeah, that was a very chaotic round, and I think that all of that happened in, you know, the vast majority of that action happened within less than 90 seconds of the round, and then the remaining sort of minute is where the rest of it happened. Very, very chaotic round, and a very good and very important round there for Ewave. Of course, I was saying that they would have to be near flawless for the remainder of this match if they want to stay in it, if they want to keep this a tug of war, you know, sort of near the middle, or even take it back to their side. So definitely a very, very important round for them, and now they're going downstairs. Again, we spoke about how this isn't, you know, recently been the most popular and the most favored spike for most of the defenders, but Ewave, confident that they can take it on and that they can take on Valhalla downstairs in the basement, will be defending it this time without the smoke, or I say this time, Valhalla of course did bring the smoke. Ewave are taking a different approach where they are bringing a double shield setup, of course, with the Warden and the Echo. I presume that the Warden shield will be placed somewhere in the long hallway to be watching laundry, and they're just going to be relying on their pure gunmanship to be able to take this round away from Valhalla, who look to be going for a top-down clear at the moment, just droning everything out, trying to clear these positions, wasting, admittedly, a little bit of time as, unbeknownst to them, there aren't really any Ewave players playing all the way upstairs.
Ewave not really going for a heavy roam, more of a shallow, as we do see the Mute, who is playing obviously in security, partnered up, with the Aruni, who does play in splits. More of a shallower roam, a bit more of a passive roam, but a roam is a roam at the end of the day, and not only a roam is a roam, a kill is a kill, and it's statement to take down Ladyboy Dasher, but no more very little vertical play, shall we say, on the side of Mercy Valhalla, as one goal does go out a bit little too late. The information has already been got by Tricky, as there's one more to forwards, Arrow off the board, and now already Mercy Valhalla at a 2-man disadvantage. They have so much work that has to be done in such now little time, with only 1 minute and 35 seconds left. Nearly 90 seconds gone into the round already, and they've already lost 2 men, already at the deficit of 2, and they have to try and get this advantage back as quickly as they can, Retro.
Yeah, they do. Luckily for them, they still have that Habana on the board, so they are able to break open these hatches, still salvage something of this round. They still have a couple of those flashbangs. That's, of course, going to be very, very important, despite that Warden, of course, but they're still going to be very, very important. If not to flash anybody out, then definitely to clear a little bit of this utility. For example, those Siri gates could definitely become a bit of an issue for them, depending on where they have been placed. And it looks like they have completely separated themselves, with Tricky and Matsu trying to push in from the freezer side. Meanwhile, Sampi is trying to distract the defenders on that laundry side instead. And just as I said, Panoza with that Warden shield is playing in this basement corridor and just waiting for anybody to push in from either freezer or from that laundry side. Of course, he can cover both positions pretty well. That timer once again dwindling down. Sampi is able to find Husky, but is that all they're going to be able to do? There come the flashbang, taking care of a little bit of that utility. Grenade will clear that shield, but not the player. Another grenade will follow, and Develli will find one, but there goes a beautiful swing from Menoza, and MacGyver is there to clean it up to end it all, Ewave take another round. They close that very large gap down to just 1 round. And now they are looking to potentially even it all out and maybe even take the lead in a couple rounds to come. A very, very good round from them. Very important round. And Valhalla, despite losing, or rather, Valhalla, due to losing those 2 players very early on, just weren't able to hold on to this round at all.
Attackers need
And
to
they're going to
locate and defuse
try
bombs.
and get around here in kitchen and dining. A different situation to what we saw for Valhalla, who went for kitchen meeting. Now, typically, kitchen meeting does tend to be a little bit more favored for teams to defend, because if you do lose the bomb site, if you do lose control of it, it's a little bit easier to retake, especially post-plan, than kitchen and dining is. But it's still a very, very good site, and still a very strong site for a lot of teams, especially if you have a really strong setup scrim that you know to a T, and especially with this Mira setup, they do seem to be quite comfortable with this one and just waiting for Valhalla to come in and try their hardest to penetrate through this defense.
Yeah, Valhalla, this is certainly a lineup that says, Valhalla, you're going to have to come to us, we're not coming to you. Obviously shown by, obviously, bringing the mirror and obviously picking up the warden with the shield, this shows that, you know, they are just going to have to try and play utility, but it doesn't matter because it's the frost that falls, courtesy of the G36C in the hands of Lazy Boy. The man is going 10 and 6 at the moment, not just slightly lagging behind Statement, but nonetheless is showing what he's worth, what he's made of in this match so far. But it is the Warden of Statement, we're just speaking on, who is playing in small tower and is going to be trying to deny this small tower control as much as he can, but he's trapped. He's cut off completely. He's trapped and confined in this one room, and we all know how this ends. Only one person has to die here, and this has to be Statement. As we do have 2 people on the small tower side. He's going to be looking to try and clear out Statement. Yeah, his life is still intact. He's still allowed to have his life nice and safe, nice and intact, and he is still going to remain alive.
Yeah, still remaining alive, wasting quite a bit of time. I would imagine that they would try to throw a couple of those grenades at him, but of course, due to the ADSs, they cannot do that. And it looks like they did clear quite a lot of that utility as they lost those flashbangs, but it doesn't matter as they lose now their ash charges. I do believe were still in her pocket, so they're not going to be able to use that for any of those soft walls, of which there are quite a few actually downstairs in that dining side. Doing got a lot of damage and finally taking him down as Lazy Boy, but look at how much time that wasted. That was nearly 2 minutes. The Statement wasted all completely by himself. Of course, Ewave now are at a slight man disadvantage, but with that time dwindling down for Valhalla and them still not really having too much map control, this won't be quite so easy for Valhalla to try and come in through. Panazu with a vertical control, trying to keep them from pushing into kitchen. Meanwhile, they're trying to set themselves up for that kitchen plant, exactly where he is looking at them from. Panazu whiffing a little bit there onto Sampi, who makes his way upstairs. Lazy Boy finally taking down another. There goes a trade, but Lazy Boy is on a quad kill, and the ace will be stolen, but it doesn't matter as Valhalla take the 6th round, put themselves on match point, and are now staring at the potentially final 3 minutes of this match as they go into what could potentially be the final round. Ewave definitely couldn't have afforded that round loss. They're going to have to be not near flawless now. They're going to have to be flawless for the remaining 2 rounds, potentially for them, if they want to take it into overtime and still have a shot at winning this. Otherwise, Valhalla have the control, and now going back upstairs to a bomb site that Valhalla won flawlessly the first time that they attacked it. Ewave are gonna have to be just as flawless in order to take this down. The last time around, that's basically what we saw from them. That echo play in that bowler position is essentially what won them the round, and hopefully they're gonna be able to pull off that one again. Otherwise, it could be all over. We could be going.
5 seconds to go.
Yeah, Ewave now staring down the barrel of this match being closed out in this final round. This could be the final 3 minutes. Will Ewave manage to hold off this side of Mercy Valhalla? They're going to have to try and pull something out the bag, something we've never seen before to beat this side of Mercy Valhalla, as, well, they've been struggling so far in this match. They've really struggled. Yes, they have 4 rounds on the board, but the 4 rounds they've won have been incredibly scrappy, Retro. Back and forth kills, trade after trade after trade, and it goes down to the very little, 2v1s, 1v1s for them to win the round. It's been very back and forth, very evenly matched. So it worries me slightly that Ewave haven't really changed much. They're bringing the exact same operator line they did previously. Yes, they did go flawless, nearly flawless I think it was on this site. But the likelihood of that happening again is next to nothing. It's very slim. If we look at the side of Mercy Valhalla, they've adapted quite a lot. They brought the Glads, they brought the Ying, and they've got the Amaru. They are going to try and quite clearly go for the Amaru rush. The question is here, is it going to be worth it? Is it going to work? As it's Samson to go straight into Bitstorm, but the guy either to shut him down, but his kills in quick succession. Was Lazy Boy to clear it up, but it's also Andy, to take down Hero, and it happened all so quickly, and we can't even process what's happened. But it's left Matsu in the 1 versus 4. Well, this round, Retro, is over before it's even begun.
Yeah, I'd hate to have to agree with you here, but I mean, the likelihood of Matsu winning this, just 1 smoke, 1 Candela left in pocket. Of course, the Warden is gone, so that might be a little bit easier, but now he's going to have to waste 1 of the 2 on that surrogate if he wants to make his way in through there. That timer dwindling down. He's very low on that information as well. He still has drones, but of course, any amount of time spent droning is time spent not attacking. There goes a beautiful swing, a beautiful prediction onto where Andy was. Of course, did hear him shooting out, but a beautiful free fire nevertheless. Goes in, jumps in through the window, pushing up these white stairs. Fox Alarm will give away his position, as will the shooting. He knows there's a player playing by the breach, but he can't do anything. A Husky in a prone position is able to find the headshot, is able to find the final kill, keeps his team alive for 1 more. And as we see round 12, it could all be over here, or we could be seeing overtime, and it's all down to the best team. It's all down to which team can really take this one down. Back down into the basement they go. It's a site that they won without much of an issue. Going back down there again, trying to find that final round that will keep them in it, that will take them into overtime,
Defenders,
and that
protect your
will
bombs
give
from
them
being
another
defused by
shot at
attackers.
taking this match straight from the jaws of Mercy Valhalla.
Ewave staying this for 1 more round. This could be the final round for Ewave game, or we could be seeing the full 12 rounds. We could be seeing overtime, or we could be seeing all the way to 15 rounds and go all the way to overtime. We are just going to have to wait and see here, Retro, of what both teams are able to produce and what both teams can do. Yes, we'll go back down to the bottom site. We've seen both teams have a very solid and a very strong performance in this
5
round
seconds
so far. On this site, so far. The question begs, what can they do? What are
Attackers
they
must
able
locate
to
and
do
defuse
now?
the bomb.
What, against Mercy Valhalla, who are staring down the barrel of a victory, of a win? We are just going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, that's really all that it comes down to, and with about 10 seconds of this round now gone, we do see that the attack is starting to form slowly from that small tower side, and Penosa will find the opening kill there onto Matsu. A very important first kill, and a very important player going down on the side of Valhalla. They've lost their Ashe now, they've lost Matsu, who has so far been very crucial for their team. Are they going to be able to bounce back from that one, or is it going to be the beginning of the end for Valhalla? We'll have to see. There goes a very aggressive look-see at the hatch, still being soft for the side of Ewave, so that is going to make it a little bit easier for Valhalla to actually breach into. And I think that the play of the game might rely on that. Tachanka denying so much of that area and denying so much of that push coming out from Valhalla. Of course, he can do it from a very large distance, and so long as he stays alive, he can just sit there and waste time for Valhalla. Hatch finally opened up as it was soft. I'm surprised that it wasn't opened up earlier by Lazy Boy, who had been inside of meeting for a while. But still, the first 90 seconds have gone okay so far for Valhalla, assuming that they don't lose anybody else in the near future.
Yeah, Mercy Valhalla now have to get the man advantage back to neutral, and then from there back in the swing of their. Well, back in their favour, we are. But it's a lot of work to do. With only a minute and 10 seconds left on the clock, Aero does manage to take away or get rid of one Yokai drone. There's one to go injured. Panoza, who has found himself injured, but Lazy Boy to find one more as well. Panoza, though, all the way back on the laundry rotate, is in fact able to potentially get himself picked up there, but it's Lazy Boy rotates all the way back upstairs, and it's only 10 seconds, 50 seconds left, sorry. And it's all going to slow right down, a bit of a stalemate. The utility usage coming out perfectly, especially from this Tachanka completely denying this Freezer control, but it's all up to Aero, who is solo on Freezer. In fact, it is going to be difficult alone. He gets swung and taken down. Aero finds himself out the board, not going to be able to play this round anymore, and it goes in the way of Ewave once again. Mercy Valhalla have so much more work to do, but it's Lazy to say no. Man advantage goes in our way, swings around, takes down McIver. I think this round is over here, but we say that. Triceps takes down one, but it's an injury onto Lazy Boy as well. But it's 1 versus 2.
10 seconds to go.
Anoza, though, is have to try and swing. We could be seeing post-plan situation here, Retro. And the street tries to walk into the site. Not only walk to the site, he's managed to get the plan down, but it's Panoza to take down Sampy, and does in fact find the triple kill. Looks to potentially find the 4K, but not only the 4K, the clutch as well. But he is still looking towards the diffuser, but a tricky Triceps to take down Panoza, and Panoza falls. And guess what? It's the round to Mercy Valhalla, but not only the round, it is the game.
It is the game. There it goes. It's a 7-5. They managed to find it. They managed to win it. It was looking dicey, especially for, well, the vast majority of that final round. It really wasn't looking like it was going to go with Valhalla's way, but they decided to grit down, and they decided to take that round anyway, despite all odds. But also gave it a great effort, but in a post-plant situation, it just wasn't doable. How unlucky, as we see in that instant replay, that he wasn't able to land any of those shots onto Sampy. I think that probably would have been the round winner right there if he had been able to take down the sledge. Because of course, he would have only had to either wait out or take down the Hibana, but nevertheless, very unlucky there for Noza to not be able to clutch that one out. Congratulations to Valhalla, who managed to take this one. They were in the lead for quite a bit, and then they started to sort of slip and fall and lose it, but they managed to pick it back up again and win it 7-5. Very, very good round, very, very good match, and Valhalla leave the winners.
Yeah, it was a very good match, Retro. We watched it, it started off in the way of Mercy Valhalla, and Ewave slightly creeped back into things. And they're in contention to win it. They bring it back slightly, and they bring it back from 4-2 to 6-5. It got very, very close, but it's Mercy Valhalla who steamrolled only by a little bit, though, and won the last round. And it came down to those gunfights. It was a post-plan situation. Yeah. All the Goyo had to do was land the shots, and it's just something he just could not do. And the Mercy Valhalla capitalized on that, landed the shots, and well, it won them not only the round, it won them the game in general, as a whole. Sorry.
Yeah, that's very, very true. And, I mean, really, not much to say. It was a tug of war for quite a bit there. Very good teams, both of these teams. I mean, we said it all the way at the start that this was going to be a very, very interesting matchup to follow, even though it's not, the main division. It is the middle division. But it was still a very, very good matchup. And what I do find interesting is that Valhalla, these sort of the youngsters in this particular matchup, the team that is still trying to figure each other out. They're still very new to each other and sort of to esports, even though the players might have been around for a while. The fact that they were able to take this match from Ewave, who I've said it, and I'll continue to say it because it's true, who have been a staple of R6 Esports for them to lose this one. Of course, they still gave it quite a huge shot, and I think that very well could have gone to overtime, and it was anybody's game. But it's still a very good feat for Mercy Valhalla to check that off the board and to put that on their resume. To hey, we beat Ewave Esports 7-5. That's got to count for something, right? So definitely very good job. Still, commiserations to E-Wave. They play their hearts out. You could tell, but it was just that little bit of oomph that that Valhalla had that ultimately won them that game.
Yeah, needless we say more, Mercy Valhalla win the match against E-Wave 7-5. But, Retro, I think that is all we have time for tonight here on Talent League. What a match we watched. Retro, thank you for joining me on the desk tonight.
Thank you
I've
for
been
having me.
Velocity, joined by Retro, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
I know what you're wondering.